Good morning, grade 1S students. Hope you're doing good. I'm your biology teacher, Mr. Elie. Today is Friday, March 13, 2020. I'm going to explain a new chapter, which is Chapter 1, the nutritive needs of chlorophyll plant and autotrophy. The main objectives of our today's lesson are to determine the essential nutrients needed for the development of plants, to explain the difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic organisms, and finally, to identify the main nutritive elements that form the mineral needs for a chlorophyll plant. What are chlorophyll plants? Chlorophyll plants are green plants that carry out the process of photosynthesis. The pigment responsible for the green color of the plant is chlorophyll. It is found mainly in the leaves, and its main role is to absorb sunlight. In order to develop, grow, and carry on life processes, chlorophyll plants take water, mineral salts, carbon dioxide, and light from its surrounding environment. Without these, the plant cannot drive photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis is characterized by the production of two products, which are the organic matter glucose or starch and oxygen. Observe well the figure. Let's indicate the structures responsible for the absorption of the nutrients. Water and mineral salts found in the soil are absorbed by the root hairs. However, carbon dioxide and sunlight are both absorbed by the leaves. Another important idea to be noted here is that when water and mineral salts are absorbed, the crude sap is formed inside the plant. This solution is then transported in an ascending manner to reach the leaves. Without this transportation, photosynthesis cannot occur. There are two types of organisms: autotrophic organisms and heterotrophic organisms. Are the plants autotrophic or heterotrophic organisms? Autotrophic organisms are able to produce their own organic food. However, heterotrophic organisms are not able to produce their own food, but depend on other organisms to consume organic matter. All chlorophyll green plants are autotrophic because simply they carry out the process of photosynthesis, so they synthesize their own food. However, animals and non-green plants are heterotrophic. They must obtain their food by consuming another animals or by consuming plants. Look at this picture. The tomato plants are synthesizing their own food in the presence of sunlight by a process called photosynthesis. On the other hand, the goat is obtaining the organic matter from the plant. Such an organism is heterotrophic. After discussing some important ideas in plants, now I want you to open your book, page 14, and let's start with the first activity. Need of chlorophyll plants for water and mineral salts. The need for water. Water is a fundamental factor in plant production. Availability of water influences the growth of plant. To determine the importance of irrigation on the productivity of plants, biologists compared the productivity of two types of plants, corn and sunflower, in irrigated and non-irrigated soil. The results are represented in the following table. The average productivity of non-irrigated corn is 6.53 ton per hectare, less than that of irrigated corn, which is 9.19 ton per hectare. Similarly, the average productivity of irrigated sunflower is 3.26 ton per hectare, higher than that of non-irrigated sunflower, which is 2.52 ton per hectare. This shows that water is essential for the productivity of plants. But how much water is needed for the best productivity? To answer this question, the biology teacher represented a graph showing the variation in the productivity of crops as a function of the annual precipitation. When the annual precipitation is around 100 millimeters, the productivity of crops is 1.9 ton per hectare. This productivity increases to reach its maximum 2.4 ton per hectare at 200 millimeters of annual precipitation. However, the productivity remains the same with increasing precipitation till 350 millimeters. This suggests that the annual precipitation between 200 and 350 is the average level. Then the productivity decreases gradually to reach its minimum 1.4 ton per hectare with the increase of annual precipitation till 550 millimeters. I conclude that low and high level of water affect negatively the productivity of crops, while average level leads to the best productivity. The last point in this activity is to determine the need for mineral salts. What are mineral salts and where are they found? Mineral salts are found in fertilizers and in the soil. However, they are highly present in fertilizers. To determine the role of fertilizers, scientists conducted an experiment represented in the table below. They cultivated crops into two plots of soil. The first plot of soil was without fertilizers, while the second plot received fertilizers composed basically of nitrogen N, phosphorus P, and potassium K. Let's compare. The productivity of crops in soil without fertilizers is 0.82 ton per hectare, much smaller than that with NPK fertilizer, 2.69 ton per hectare. I conclude that the mineral salts in fertilizers lead to the best productivity. In another experiment represented in this figure, we tried to show the effect of fertilizers on the growth of the plant. And we noticed that plants with fertilizers grow normally, while deficiency in the minerals N, P, and K leads to troubles in growth. Today's lesson is finished. Please, I want you to review it, open your copybook, write these questions, and solve it. See you.